You are the graduating head girl of your high school with dreams of becoming a nurse. You register for and take your final national exams in Biu, northeast Nigeria, close to your hometown. On your way home, the taxi is ambushed by the Boko Haram terror group. The male occupants are killed on the spot, and the women, including you, are abducted, taken deep into the forest. You are the only young girl. Welcome to Vestiges of Violence. Here, we talk about survivors. For Human Angle, I am Sabiqah. Felicia was 18 in 2014 when this nightmare began. She lived in Yobe, northeast Nigeria with her parents. When she was abducted in a town in Borno State, she was first taken to the Talala mountain where she was taught the group's interpretation of Islam. Eventually, she adopted the faith, renaming herself from Felicia to Aisha.
Initially, I was stubborn and resistant. I wasn't afraid of talking back to them, but they told me to cooperate with them so they would let me go back to my parents.
Her abductors promised that if she was obedient, they would return her home. Days and weeks and months passed, and Aisha knew their promises were empty. But she never gave up hope that one day she would regain her freedom. Her abduction occurred shortly after the famous Chibok abduction, and she was kept in the same place as the Chibok girls. They were given a choice between slavery and marriage. They had to decide if they wanted to work as slaves in unfavorable conditions or marry a man they would only meet on the wedding day. Aisha chose marriage.
Marriage seemed like a better option. At least I would still have some agency. Some of the Chibok girls and I were married off the same day in Gwaza. It was on the day of the wedding that I met the man who would marry me. They asked me if I liked him, and I said to them, how can I decide I like someone I just met?
Aisha's first husband, a Boko Haram member, died when she was 7 months pregnant with her first child. She was then taken into the care of the wives of Abubakar Shekau, the group's leader at the time. They had access to some medical care and midwives for childbirth.
My husband died and Shekau took us in. He said we should stay close since my husband, who was one of his men, had died. He gave us everything we needed. The wives also took care of us. It was in the Sambisa forest, but a different part and very secluded. No one came, and we didn't leave either.
Aisha faced significant challenges, including difficult pregnancies and childbirths. Despite the severe restrictions of her environment, she could still access some level of nutrition and comfort due to being under the care of the Boko Haram leader. Every 2 weeks, an animal would be slaughtered and its meat shared amongst everyone. Occasionally, they would distribute food items, rice, pasta, cooking oil. Pregnant women like Aisha received extra provisions, including milk and drinks. While far from compensating for the distress of captivity, this provided Aisha with essential sustenance and a semblance of care in an otherwise difficult environment.
It wasn't always bad, but there were disturbing incidents. There was an elderly woman who was like a friend and mother to me. However, one day I couldn't find her, and I was told that she had committed suicide bombing.
Aisha was later remarried to another group member. Now she has 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls. Their life in the Sambisa forest was marked by constant fear, wars, and bombings. After the death of Boko Haram's leader, Shekau, Aisha saw a gap that allowed her the opportunity to escape with her children. After 8 long years, she returned in October 2022. Sadly, she came home to learn that her mother had passed away while she was in captivity. Aisha recalled all the details her husband shared with her about his family. When she returned, his parents were traced and they took the kids to care for them while Aisha focuses on her studies and prepares to get married.
I am getting married soon, and my father and my fiancé support me. They are very understanding. Although some people have stigmas against me and my kids, my family is accepting. Well, except my stepmother.
Aisha is now pursuing her dreams of becoming a healthcare worker. She is studying public health and performing as the best student in her class. She is working hard to earn sustenance for herself and her children. She wants to lead by example and show them that they can achieve anything they want.
My dream for my kids is for them to have an education. It keeps me up at night. I am studying so I would be educated and self-sufficient to take care of my children. I will make sure they are educated and independent.
Despite the challenges, she has come a long way since leaving the Sambisa forest. She plans to visit some victims of abduction in the rehab center in Maiduguri to give them hope that they too have a chance at getting back their lives.
For victims of a similar situation as mine, I want them to know that it's not their fault. They shouldn't allow stigma to get to them or force them to go back to their life with Boko Haram.
Aisha was 18 when she was abducted. Now, she's a 27-year-old mother of 4, pursuing her dreams and reclaiming her freedom. This story was reported by Usman Abba Zanna, scripted and hosted by Sabiqah Bello, edited, mixed, and mastered by Anthony Asemota. The executive producer is Ahmad Salkida. In order to protect the identities of survivors, we use voice actors for this episode. If you or anyone you know have a story to share on vestiges of violence, do not hesitate to get in touch with us.